If you see a need, fill it. A lesson Jacob Hermant was taught from an early age and one he took very seriously. Always helping when he could, no matter if he knew you for 10 seconds or 10 years.
Just an honorable kid.
On the gridiron, Jacob was still an honorable kid, but he was also a fierce competitor.
He said I could just go to my fiery, hot, mad mode, and he wanted to protect his quarterbacks. He wanted to protect his teammates, and he just always gave it his all.
Torrin Tuttle was lucky enough that Jacob was on his offensive line when he went to his fiery, hot, mad mode. The two became close in their senior year after Tuttle transferred from North Valley. But it wasn't football Jacob that the former South Medford quarterback will remember most.
In the grand scheme of things, honestly, and it's something I've come to realize, football really doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. And it's really how you treat other people. And if you want a good example of that, you look at Jacob Hermant.
Everyone you talk to has a similar story of how Jacob helped them or someone they knew, and his generosity was contagious for those who spent time with him.
So I think that was probably the biggest thing that rubbed off, is he made me want to help more people just because of how kind and helpful he was to others.
He was encouraging you, he was coaching you, he was helping you out, and that's who he was. That he was always just so kind, so positive. One of those kids that is going to leave an impact, and we're going to miss a lot.
Jacob was someone you'd never forget meeting. Even in brief encounters, he'd make you feel welcome and safe.
He lived his life at schools and at home and on the football field. He was the same Jake. And so until the day he was here no more.
When Jacob was getting his license for the first time, he asked his mom, Missy, about a part of the form that asked if he wanted to be an organ donor. Missy began to explain that if something happened to him, his organs would be donated to those awaiting a transplant. Before she could finish explaining, Jacob had already checked the box.
I mean, there was no hesitation at all.
A few weeks ago, Jacob was on his way back home from Oregon Tech to visit home. On Highway 140, Jacob's truck began to fishtail, forcing him to swerve into the opposite lane. He was struck by an oncoming car. A firefighter was just a few cars behind and was able to stabilize Jacob and keep him alive until paramedics arrived. The extent of his internal injuries wasn't known until later. On life support, Jacob's parents weren't sure what to do. Then they remembered that conversation in the DMV 5 years before that put a heart on his driver's license. But being able to donate an organ to another person isn't always a sure thing. So many variables need to line up in order for an organ match to take place.
There's about 1% of folks that can actually donate, and Jake's a 1%er. So if you can donate, helps out so many people, and it might be hard. The gift to give to others is incredible. It's an incredible feeling in your heart.
Jacob's kidneys will now go on to help someone else live longer, continuing his helping legacy.
His parents are the best people ever. Donnie and Missy, they're awesome. For them to have to make a decision the way they did, respecting his wishes, shows you how much he wanted to be able to help. So in death, he's still able to help others. And it's tough, man.
Jacob's legacy will also carry on the football field with number 72. The importance of that number now greater than ever.
And when he graduated, he asked me to take his number. And so I wore 72 my junior and senior year, which is really made me super happy because I was really looked up to him. So it was a cool legacy to carry on, and now I'm really glad I got to carry that on.
So Jacob's father has just one request for those in the Southern Oregon community: live like Jacob. If you see a need, fill it with kindness in your heart.
Start the day, just think, showing somebody grace, just once. And it'll make this place, this community better.
In Medford, Josh Shelton, Newswatch 12 Sports.